そっと目を覚ませば暗闇に覆われ一人また一人散る涙に悲しみをこらえて手に掴むと誓った希望を
Today we're going to be doing another unboxing, and here we have the figure from the manufacturer's FuRyu, part of its Nex line, a 1/7 scale figure of the characters Uzen Kyouka and Wakura Yuuki from the series Mato Seihei no Soreibu, or Slave of the Magic Capital's Elite Troop. So before we get into the figure, just in case you didn't know, Mato Seihei no Soreibu, or Slave of the Magic Capital's Elite Troops, or Chained Soldier, is a manga originally published in 2019, serialized in Shonen Jump Plus by the two authors Takemura Yohei and the story by Takahiro. This manga did get an anime adaptation recently in 2004, going by the same name, Slave of the Magic Capital's Elite Troops, or Chained Soldier, which I did hear about the controversy by the name, which is why they went with Chained Soldier, but I'm not going to mention it here, but it is pretty dumb. So here in the background you can see the box rotating in 360. It is actually pretty large, and this looks like a really cool concept. So let's just take the two characters out of the box and see how they look. See here straight out of the package, you can see here it is wrapped in plastic and also thin styrofoam to protect it from getting any scratches or paint. So this is actually two layerings. So here's the bottom layer, which actually has the actual chain and an extra little piece, I guess, that holds up the chain. So before we get into the figures, you can see here, this is the assembly instructions guide here. So there's not really much to put this together. It's basically just the figure, the base, the two little metal pieces and the chain, but you can see the front is actually a bit of English and Japanese, and the back here is just, I think, just straight Japanese. Yeah, so both sides are the same, but it does fold like a little booklet, but there's nothing really too specific on it. So here we have is the actual base of the figure, and before we get into the details on it, here we have is the bottom where you see is FuRyu and other information on the series. And here we have is a closer look on, this is actually based on the transformation of Wakura Yuuki when he transformed into that big monster wolf type like thing. And yeah, it looks really great. It looks really cool. It's actually pretty wide. I think around like 9.5 inches approximately, not accurate because, you know, it's a little bit difficult the way to measure sometimes these figures, but yeah, so I had to take one of my shelvings here and place it at the bottom to hold it up because it would be wiggling around my rotating base. But you can see the details they put on like his muscles and stuff like that, and the shading and all looks really great, and I just love the way this looks. I would think this would probably be huge if it was sculpted his entire body, which probably would have been a lot cooler, but it probably would have been a little bit more expensive than what the figure actually cost. So I guess we're gonna take half of the monster transformation here, but it looks really great. The paint job looks really amazing. I do like it, and yeah, so let's just put the other character right on top. Not like that. So here we have is Uzen Kyouka, as you can see here, a lot smaller than Wakura Yuuki, but starting from her boot area here, you can see it going up. So this is a little bit more plain of a PVC compared to the base, which I feel like the base has a lot more details, but here's actually pretty great. It's like usually PVCs have is a little peg here at the bottom, and here's a bottom look here of her her bottom, and it looks pretty great. I do like the creases on the boot though. That details are really great. Every little amount of details they put on these figures look really amazing. You can see here the skirt area also has a little bit of like creases and stuff, and they did a great shading on the paint too. Nothing really too bad. Here's her hands, which actually where her sword gets inserted in. And I think they did a great job. You can see the amount of details they put on her, like her suit and everything. You can see here, closer shot on her face. Her hair is a little bit like iffy-ish compared to her body. I don't know if you can kind of tell from my camera, but it looks like it could have done a little bit more work on it, but it still looks great nonetheless. Here we have her hand position upwards over her hair, and here's the back side where you see more of her hair, and you see it towards the bottom. It does have like a pinkish tip to it, and these hair is actually a bit flexible. As you can see, you can actually move it a little bit around, but I advise not to actually move it too much because I don't think it's intended to be moving around so much. But do be careful when handling the figure. You don't want to accidentally flick it and break it. So I can't really show you much of the bottom because it's a little bit dark in that area, but you can see the hair goes all the way up, causing it to look, making it look like there's like individual lines of strands of hair, which I do like this detail. Okay, here it looks a little bit off, like I said before. I feel they could have done a little bit of a better job here, but it still looks great nonetheless. You can see here her side. It looks really great. Here's the top view, and like I said, you can see the individual linings of her hair. It looks really great. I like when figures do that compared to like the flat, plain look that usually some figures have when they're showing you hair. The more the better. And here's a little hole at the top where I think one of the chains gets plugged into. So yeah. So other than that, I think the figure came out good. The hair could have been a little bit better, but it looks actually great nonetheless. So let's connect Uzen Kyouka with Wakura Yuki. So here we have her sword, which looks really great, or should I say a katana, and looks really great. You cannot actually like take the katana out. It's actually molded onto the actual holster for the sword, but you have to actually remove the top of the sword like this and connect it. Just be careful because it kind of gets a little bit close together, so you're gonna have to bend it a little, but don't bend it too much. Is the chain, which you can see here, is actually grayish, and no, it's not actual metal, but it's like a flexible plastic. But I don't think this is supposed to be flexing a lot, so do be careful with it. Here's a closer look, and it's actually all linked together, so just be careful when actually handling this and not to bend it too much. So this actually does come with two little standees for the chain, which I don't know why it needed it, because it can actually stand up itself, but I guess maybe in time it's gonna weigh down and you don't want it to be bending it too much, so this is to put the chain onto or to keep it standing up.
「肩の力を抜いてねほら」「二人手元を追って重なればもう無敵だから」「繋がるこの手のひら君を捉えた鎖で」
Alright guys, so that was FuRyu's 1/7 scale figure of both of the characters Uzen Kyouka and Wakura Yuki from the series Mato Seihei no Soreibu. So all in all, I gotta say, it's such a great figure. It is actually pretty heavy, or should I say when it was in the box. When it's out of the box, it's actually pretty light, but when it was in the box, it was actually pretty heavy. Looks really great. I don't know why it needs those metal rods to hold up the chain, because it could kind of stand up on its own. Like I said, maybe in time it's gonna get weak and it's gonna like start dropping a little bit lower, so maybe that's the reason why they gave you the standees. But I feel like it could have been cooler if they gave us an actual chain, and then those standees would look a lot better holding onto the chain, because the chain can't stand up, you know. But anyways, such a great figure. I do like the way it looks. I love the idea of having the transformation of Wakura at the bottom as the base, and then the character on top holding her manga covers pose, which looks really great. If you do like the way this figure looks, I highly recommend the series. It's really great. A lot of ecchi stuff in it if you're into that type of stuff. But anyways guys, that's gonna be end of this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll leave you guys off with close-up shots and the figure rotating in 360. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
勘違いしないでね。君ももっと知りたい伝えたい。これはきっとそう変わらないリストに。もっとね、もっと大きく限界を超えて。かっこ悪いところ見せたくないよ。この出会いはパラダイムシュート受け止めて。You are just mine.肩の力を抜いてね、ほら二人手を取って重なればもう無敵だから頼りない君だけど今なら一目線あげるよ。だからね、もっともっともっともっと力を抜いてね、ほら二人手を取って向かう未来はもう無敵だよね。つながるこの手のひら伝わってくるシンパシー。君を捉えた鎖でずっともう二度と離